Welcome to the Timeless Tales Library, where each story is a soft key that unlocks the quiet spaces of your imagination. I'm Theodore, your host for the evening, and tonight I'll be sharing a gentle tale meant to calm your thoughts and carry you peacefully towards sleep. This haven of restful stories is brought to life by listeners like you. If you found solace here, please consider subscribing to help us continue weaving these serene narratives. As you settle in, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below letting me know where you're listening from, and share a place you dream of a story taking you. Perhaps a lighthouse on a windswept cliff, a lantern-lit street in Kyoto, a cosy bookshop in the rain, or a meadow beneath the northern lights. Your dreams keep our little library warm and glowing. Embark on a gentle journey aboard the Dreamweaver Express, where the familiar faces of Sherwood Forest's legends, Robinhood, Maid Marian, Little John, and Friar Tuck, find themselves on a most unusual and comforting adventure. This enchanting tale unfolds amidst whimsical landscapes and quiet whispers, as our heroes discover the true magic of friendship and the subtle beauty of a world woven from dreams. Now, close your eyes and breathe slowly. Tonight, you're not in your room, you're descending into the sunken library within the Timeless Tales Library. Here, the air is thick with peaceful silence, and the light is soft and hazy, filtering down from the water's surface far above. Every shelf is covered in smooth green moss, and the books glow with a soft bioluminescent light. The only sounds are the gentle currents and the occasional brush of a fish's tail. Feel yourself sink deeper, your body becoming as weightless as a page adrift in the water. Your bed is a soft bed of sand at the bottom of this quiet sea, cradling you securely. Release your jaw, your shoulders, and your hands. Let the pressure of the day lift from you, rising to the surface like a stream of bubbles. Let the stories of the Timeless Tales Library drift into your imagination like schools of colourful silent fish. Robinhood, the train to Nottingham Dreams. The air was soft, a silken whisper against the ancient oaks that lined the ethereal tracks. A gentle luminescence like captured starlight shimmered through the mist-kissed glades. It wasn't the Sherwood Forest Robin Hood knew, not precisely. This was a place touched by slumber, where the very leaves seemed to sigh with contentment, and the sky was a perpetual canvas of lavender and rose. The scent of dew-kissed moss and something vaguely like warm gingerbread wafted on the breeze, a comforting aroma that settled deep within one's chest. The light wasn't the sharp, defined glow of sun through a canopy, but a diffused, buttery radiance that seemed to come from every surface, from the bark of the trees, from the very air itself. This was a forest held in a state of suspended animation, a perfect, unchanging moment of twilight. Robin Hood stretched, a languid movement that rippled through his forest green tunic. He found himself not beneath a sprawling oak, bow in hand, but seated in a plush, velvet-cushioned carriage. The gentle sway and rhythmic click-clack of wheels on rails were the only sounds, a hypnotic lullaby that had lulled him into a most profound state of peace. The seat was a deep, accommodating chair, its velvet nap so fine it felt like a cloud against his skin. The cushions were plump, moulded to the contours of his body as if they had been waiting for him. Opposite him, Maid Marian, her usually spirited gaze softened by the dreamy light, watched the passing scenery with a quiet smile. Her gown, a delicate shade of periwinkle, seemed to absorb the ambient glow, making her appear as if she was spun from moonbeams. The fabric of her dress was like woven gossamer, each fold catching and refracting the light, creating a halo of soft colour around her. A single, perfect rose, a hue of pale ivory, was tucked behind her ear, its petals appearing to glow from within. Her hands were clasped loosely in her lap, a picture of serene grace. A peculiar journey, wouldn't you say, my love? Robin murmured, his voice a low rumble, barely disturbing the quiet. He felt no need for grand pronouncements or heroic tales. The quiet intimacy of the moment was enough. He reached across the small space and gently took one of her hands, his thumb tracing a slow, comforting circle on her skin. Marian turned to him, her smile widening, her eyes full of a soft, liquid light. Peculiar and utterly enchanting, Robin. I've never known such stillness, such a profound sense of belonging. She gestured vaguely towards the window, where the landscape flowed by like a painted scroll. There were no harsh shadows, no jagged edges, only soft undulations of hills covered in blossoms that pulsed with an inner light, as if they held tiny fireflies within their petals. Trees, their branches laden with blossoms of impossible colours, cerulean, saffron and silver, bowed gracefully as the train glided past, their leaves rustling with a sound like distant chimes. The light from the blossoms cast shifting patterns of colour on the carriage walls, a silent, ethereal dance. The air outside felt thick and sweet, a liquid comfort. Marian leaned her head against the cool glass of the window, a look of pure wonder on her face. It's as if the world outside is made of a different substance entirely, something spun from dreams and forgotten wishes. In the seat across the aisle, little John, usually a towering presence, seemed to have shrunk ever so slightly, nestled comfortably into his own plush seat. The chair, despite his size, held him with a gentle firmness. He snored softly, a gentle, almost musical rumble, his broad hands resting loosely on his lap, his fingers curled in a state of utter relaxation. A tiny iridescent moth with wings like stained glass flitted around his nose as if contemplating landing there, its intricate wings reflecting the ambient light in 1,000 tiny sparks of colour before drifting off to explore the carriage ceiling. Friar Tuck, on the other hand, was wide awake, his eyes twinkling as he carefully peeled an imaginary orange. He held it up to the light, admiring its perfect unseen segments before taking an equally imaginary bite. A contented sigh escaped him, a sound of deep, spiritual satisfaction. The light from the unseen fruit seemed to make his face glow with a beatific expression. The finest fruit in all the dream realms, he declared to no one in particular, his voice a jovial whisper. Nourishing for the soul, wouldn't you agree, dear Robin? He licked his lips with a sound of genuine pleasure. Robin chuckled, a warm sound that resonated with the gentle rhythm of the train. Indeed, Friar, though I confess I've never tasted an orange quite like it. The idea of consuming something so purely, so utterly imagined, was a new and delightful concept. Friar Tuck leaned forward, a conspiratorial glint in his eye. Ah, but the taste, my boy, is in the anticipation, the imagining. It's the purest form of culinary delight, unburdened by earthly substance. No seeds to spit out, no juice to stain your robes, only the pure essence of orangeness. He offered a slice of his invisible orange to Marian, who accepted it with an amused grace, her fingers carefully closing around nothing at all. She brought the imaginary slice to her lips, and a subtle, fragrant scent, a phantom citrus essence, seemed to fill the air around her. She smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. The carriage itself was a marvel. The wood panelling gleamed with a warm honeyed luster, inlaid with intricate patterns of sleeping stags and soaring doves, the carving so fine they seemed to be made of lace. The lamps, rather than burning with fire, emitted a soft, diffused light, like captured fireflies dancing within frosted glass spheres, their light pulsing with a slow, hypnotic beat. Cushions were abundant, deep and inviting, stacked in soft mounds against the walls and in the corners of the seats. The very air smelled faintly of lavender and old books, a scent of comfort and quiet knowledge. There were no guards, no stern conductors, just a pervasive sense of safety and quiet wonder. The windows were impossibly large, curved at the top like cathedral arches, offering a panoramic view of the dreamscape. The floor was covered in a thick woven carpet, its fibres feeling like soft moss beneath Robin's boots. Suddenly the train emitted a soft musical chime, a sound like wind chimes crafted from crystal. The scenery outside transformed. The rolling hills gave way to a vast, shimmering lake, its surface like polished obsidian reflecting the soft twilight sky. Islands, small and perfectly round, dotted the lake, each one adorned with a single ancient tree whose leaves were made of spun moonlight. Tiny, luminous fish, like living jewels, leaped from the water, their arcs leaving trails of silver light that slowly faded. The lake itself seemed to breathe, its surface rising and falling with a slow, gentle rhythm. The trees on the islands, their trunks twisting into graceful, impossible shapes, seemed to be whispering secrets to one another, their glowing leaves rustling with an unheard sound. Marian leaned closer to the window, her breath a soft fog on the cool glass. "Look, Robin, do you see them?" Her voice was a hushed whisper, as if speaking too loudly would shatter the delicate scene. Robin followed her gaze. On one of the furthest islands, tiny figures no bigger than his thumb were tending to the moonlit trees. They were vaguely humanoid, but their forms seemed to shimmer and shift, like heat haze over a summer field, their bodies composed of pure, undiluted light. They moved with a delicate precision, their movements resembling a silent, graceful dance, as they carefully arranged the glowing leaves or coaxed a blossom into life with a gentle touch. "What do you suppose they are doing?" he wondered aloud, his mind trying to reconcile this impossible sight with his reality. Friar Tuck, roused from his imaginary feast, peered over Robin's shoulder. "Ah, the Whispering Weavers," he announced with an air of profound knowledge. "They tend to the dream trees you see. Each leaf, each blossom, holds a fragment of a waking thought, a forgotten wish, a moment of pure joy. They weave them into the fabric of the night, ensuring sweet dreams for all. It is a work of great and gentle importance. Little John stirred, letting out a particularly resonant snore that vibrated through the carriage. The tiny moth, startled, finally landed on his nose, tickling him awake. He blinked, his large eyes slowly focusing on the scene outside. He scrubbed at his face with the back of his hand as if trying to wipe away the last remnants of sleep. "What in blazes?" he mumbled, his voice thick with sleep. "Are those little folk and trees made of light?" He squinted as if trying to force the impossible image into something more familiar. "Indeed, my dear little John," Marian explained patiently, a gentle hand on his arm. "They are the whispering weavers, tending to the dream trees." Her voice was soft, reassuring, a balm to his confusion. Little John rubbed his eyes, clearly still grappling with the dreamlike reality. "Dream trees, eh? Sounds about right for this place. I swear I thought I was still dreaming when I woke up. Still half expect to be back under a thorny bush dodging the sheriff's patrols." He sighed, a surprisingly soft sound for such a large man. "This is rather more comfortable." A faint smile played on his lips as he leaned back, the last of his sleepiness giving way to a simple, quiet appreciation. The moth, having completed its exploration, now rested contentedly on the brim of his cap, its wings folded like a tiny church window. The train continued its unhurried pace, the rhythmic click-clack a constant soothing companion. The light in the carriage softened further, casting long, gentle shadows that danced with the train's motion. Robin found himself slipping deeper into the pervasive tranquility, his usual alertness giving way to a pleasant drowsiness. There was no need for vigilance here, no need for plans or strategies, only the quiet appreciation of the moment. He felt his muscles, so often tensed for action, begin to truly relax, each one letting go of the burdens of his waking life. "I wonder," Marian mused, her voice a silken thread, "where this train is taking us." Her question was not born of anxiety, but of a quiet, delightful curiosity. Friar Tuck, ever the philosopher of the group, offered, "Perhaps, my dear, it is not about the destination, but the journey itself. A journey into the quiet corners of our own minds, where peace resides, undisturbed by the clamour of the waking world. It is a pilgrimage of the soul, you see," Little John grunted. "Well, as long as it's not taking us to Nottingham jail, I'm content." He yawned, a wide cavernous opening, and settled back into his seat, his eyes drifting closed once more. The moth, now a tiny guardian, remained on his cap. The train, as if responding to their unspoken questions, passed beneath an archway formed by two enormous intertwining trees whose branches dripped with luminous dew-kissed pearls. As they emerged, the landscape had changed again. They were now in a vast open meadow, stretching as far as the eye could see. But this was no ordinary meadow. The grass was a deep, velvety indigo, so dark it seemed to absorb the light, and instead of flowers, tiny bell-shaped lights pulsed gently from the ground, each emitting a different soft note, creating a silent, shimmering symphony. Above them, in the perpetual twilight sky, constellations woven from silver threads slowly shifted and reformed, like a cosmic tapestry being subtly restitched by an unseen hand. The air here was cool and sweet, scented with the gentle hum of the bells and the phantom perfume of the starlight. "Oh, how exquisite," Marian breathed, pressing her hand to the window pane. "It's like walking through a song but without sound." She traced the outline of a particularly large bell light with her finger, as if she could feel its quiet vibration through the glass. Robin nodded, his gaze distant. "I've never seen such beauty, Marian, not even in the heart of Sherwood on the clearest night." The beauty of this place was not wild or untamed, but a quiet, profound perfection. As they gazed, a herd of creatures, resembling graceful deer but with wings of delicate gossamer light, glided across the indigo meadow. They moved with an ethereal slowness, their hooves barely touching the luminous ground, leaving faint trails of silver dust that dissolved moments later. Their eyes, Robin noticed, glowed with a gentle inner warmth, like embers from a long-extinguished fire. Their forms were fluid, their bodies a tapestry of shifting light and shadow. "Dream dear," Friar Tuck announced, ever ready with an explanation. "They carry forgotten memories on their wings, scattering them gently into the night, allowing them to bloom anew as whispers in our dreams. They are the guardians of quiet moments, of memories we've lost along the way." Little John surprisingly opened one eye. "Forgotten memories, eh? I wonder what forgotten memories they're carrying of me. Probably something about a particularly large pie, knowing my luck." He closed his eye again, a faint smile playing on his lips. The notion of a forgotten pie a deeply comforting one. The train slowed, its rhythmic pulse becoming even more languid, until it came to a gentle, almost imperceptible halt. There was no station, no platform, just the shimmering indigo meadow stretching out before them. The bell-shaped lights on the ground chimed a soft, welcoming melody, their notes intertwining in a delicate, wordless song. "Are we stopping?" Marian wondered, a hint of curiosity in her voice but no alarm. The lack of a destination no longer seemed to matter. Just then, a small, elegant figure appeared at the carriage door, which slid open with a soft sigh, as if exhaling. It was a creature unlike any they had ever seen, yet immediately disarming. It stood no taller than Robin's waist, its form slender and graceful, clothed in garments woven from what looked like woven starlight, the fabric rippling with a soft internal glow. Its face was gentle, with large luminous eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages and a serene smile. It held a small, intricate lantern that pulsed with a warm, golden light. "Welcome, travellers," the creature's voice was like the softest whisper of wind chimes, carrying a melody of peace. "You have arrived at the meadow of gentle echoes. Please, if you wish, you are invited to alight and stretch your dreaming legs." The invitation was not a command, but a quiet offering. Robin, ever courteous, was the first to rise. He offered his hand to Marian, who gracefully accepted, her fingers closing around his with a familiar, comforting pressure. Little John, with a groan of pleasant effort, also slowly unfolded himself from his seat, his large body seeming to find its full, uncramped form again. Friar Tuck, with a cheerful "ho-ho," clambered out, adjusting his robes with a happy bounce. As they stepped onto the indigo grass, a profound sense of calm enveloped them. The air was cool and invigorating, yet utterly without chill. The soft chiming of the ground lights seemed to resonate within them, settling any lingering anxieties, any residual tension from their waking lives. The luminous dream deer grazed peacefully nearby, their gentle eyes watching the newcomers with quiet curiosity, their presence adding to the pervasive sense of safety. "This is extraordinary," Marian murmured, turning in a slow circle, taking in the shimmering expanse. The bell lights pulsed in a beautiful, silent harmony around her. The small, elegant guide bowed slightly. "Each step here is a step deeper into the quietude, into the heart of peaceful reflection. You may wander as you wish, or simply sit and observe. There is no haste, no expectation, only being." The creature's movements were so fluid, so graceful, it seemed to be a part of the meadow itself. Robin noticed a series of smooth, pearlescent stones scattered across the meadow, each one glowing with a faint internal light, like captured moonlight. He walked towards one, Marian by his side. As he knelt, he saw that the light within the stone pulsed with a gentle rhythm, mirroring his own slowing heartbeat. It felt cool and smooth beneath his fingertips, emanating a calming energy. The surface of the stone was so polished it felt like liquid. "What are these stones?" he asked the guide, who had quietly approached, its presence as light as a feather. "They are echo stones," the guide replied, its voice a soft murmur. "They hold the echoes of forgotten joys, of quiet comforts. If you listen with your heart, you may hear their whisper." Robin closed his eyes, placing his hand fully on the stone. A warmth spread through him, and for a fleeting moment he saw a vision. A sun-drenched afternoon in Sherwood, the laughter of children playing by the stream, the scent of wildflowers on the breeze, the feeling of Marian's hand in his, a moment of perfect, unburdened happiness. It was a memory, not grand or heroic, but simply perfect in its quiet happiness. A profound sense of gratitude washed over him, a deep-seated appreciation for the small, beautiful moments of his life. Marian, too, was mesmerized by an echo stone. Her eyes closed, a gentle smile gracing her lips. "I feel a kindness," she whispered. "A deep, gentle kindness, like the embrace of an old friend." She felt a memory of her own, the quiet moment before a dance, the feeling of a cool evening breeze on her skin, the shared smile with a friend. Little John, after a moment of hesitation, sat heavily on a particularly large echo stone, his brow furrowed in concentration, then slowly smoothed out. A soft snort escaped him. "Well, I'll be," he rumbled. "It smells like baking bread. My mum's bread from when I was a wee lad. Haven't thought of that in years." A tear, surprising even to himself, welled in the corner of his eye, quickly brushed away with a gruff hand. The scent was so real, so vivid, he could almost taste the crisp crust and the soft, warm interior. Friar Tuck, of course, embraced the echo stones with gusto. He sat on one, then moved to another, his face alight with wonder. Ah, this one hums with the joy of a good jest, and this one, the satisfaction of a shared meal. Oh, how glorious! He bounced slightly on his stone, a picture of pure, unadulterated delight. He felt the echoes of shared laughter, of warmth and camaraderie, of the simple pleasure of a full belly. The dream deer grazed closer, their luminous eyes observing the group with a tranquil grace. Their presence was comforting, adding to the pervasive sense of safety. There was no fear in their gaze, only quiet understanding. They seemed to be part of the very fabric of this peaceful place, their movements in perfect harmony with the silent symphony of the bell lights. As the moment stretched into a timeless stillness, the sky above began to deepen into richer hues of indigo and violet. The silver constellations twinkled with greater intensity, and a giant, benevolent moon, like a pearl in the sky, slowly began to ascend, casting long ethereal shadows across the meadow. The air grew even softer, infused with a new scent, something akin to warm honey and night-blooming jasmine. The moon of serene slumber is rising, the guide announced gently. It is a sign that the deepest dreams are ready to unfold. Robin felt a gentle pull, a subtle longing to return to the comforting embrace of the train. The tranquility of the meadow was profound, but the carriages felt like a second skin, a home in this strange and beautiful land. He looked at Marian, who met his gaze with a knowing smile. Without a word, they began to make their way back towards the softly glowing carriages. Little John, with a final pat to his echo stone, lumbered after them, a lingering smile on his face. Friar Tuck, with a reluctant sigh, eventually followed, still humming a silent tune of contentment. Back inside the carriage, the light had dimmed further, settling into a deep, warm amber. The plush seats now seemed even more inviting, more like cradles than chairs. The rhythmic click-clack of the train resumed, even softer than before, a gentle lullaby for the soul. The sound was like the pulse of the world, a constant comforting beat. I feel lighter, Marian confessed, settling back into her seat, her head resting on Robin's shoulder, as if a gentle hand has smoothed away every wrinkle of worry. Robin nodded, his eyes half closed. A most curious meadow indeed. To feel such forgotten joys, such simple comforts. It is a rare and precious gift. He felt as if a great weight he hadn't even known he was carrying had been lifted from his shoulders. Little John sighed contentedly. No sheriff, no taxes, just warm bread and quiet thoughts. I could get used to this. He shifted in his seat, his large body finding a state of perfect repose. Friar Tuck chuckled. The true treasures, my friends, are not in gold or power, but in the quiet peace of a contented heart. This journey teaches us that, does it not? His voice was filled with a deep, abiding satisfaction. The train continued its slow, unhurried journey. The landscape outside once again shifted, transforming into a series of softly glowing valleys where rivers of shimmering mist flowed gently over moss-covered stones. Trees, their branches laden with blossoms that whispered secrets on the breeze, leaned gracefully over the ethereal waterways. Fireflies, their lights a soft, pulsating gold, danced in intricate patterns, mirroring the shifting constellations above. The air was cool and damp, smelling of earth and fresh rain, but with a strange sweet undertone. The rivers of mist seemed to carry the very essence of forgotten dreams, swirling and coalescing in beautiful ephemeral shapes. Robin watched his gaze unblinking. The world outside was a fluid canvas of gentle beauty, each passing scene more dreamlike than the last. He felt no urge to understand, no need to question, only to observe and absorb. The constant gentle rocking of the train, the soft hum of its unseen engine, the comforting presence of his friends, it all wove together into a tapestry of perfect peace. He felt a deep, profound sense of belonging to this moment, to this journey. Marian, leaning her head on his shoulder, pointed to a particularly large, luminous blossom outside the window. "Look, Robin, it seems to be breathing." Indeed, the blossom, the size of a dinner plate, gently expanded and contracted, its petals glowing with a soft internal rhythm. As it breathed, tiny iridescent motes of light drifted from its center, swirling upwards like miniature stars, creating a slow, graceful aurora of light. "Dream blooms," Friar Tuck explained softly, his voice barely above a whisper, as if not to disturb the delicate magic. They breathe out the sweet essence of forgotten wishes. Each mote of a light is a hope, gently released into the night, waiting to be rediscovered in a peaceful dream. Little John, surprisingly, was not asleep. He was watching the dream blooms with a profound concentration. "Forgotten wishes, eh?" he mused. "I wonder if one of those motes of light is for a never-ending mug of ale." He chuckled softly, a deep, rumbling sound that was surprisingly soothing. The idea of such a thing was so simple, so perfect, and it brought a look of pure joy to his face. The train began a slow, graceful ascent, curving gently upwards along what appeared to be a shimmering crystalline track. Below them, the valleys of mist and whispering blossoms stretched out, bathed in the soft ascending moonlight. The air grew even softer, infused with a faint sweet fragrance, like honey and night-blooming jasmine. They entered a tunnel, but it was unlike any tunnel Robin had ever known. The walls were not rough stone, but smooth, polished agate, glowing with a myriad of soft, swirling colours: amethyst, sapphire, and emerald. Stars like scattered diamonds seemed to be embedded directly into the agate, twinkling with a gentle inner light. The sound of the train's wheels became a soft, echoing chime, a musical vibration that resonated through the very air, through the very bones of the travellers. "This is truly a passage of wonder," Marian whispered, her voice filled with awe. The colours swirled and shifted, a slow, gentle kaleidoscope of light that washed over their faces, bathing them in a warm, ethereal glow. Robin reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. He felt a profound sense of connection, not just to Marian, but to the entire dreamlike experience. It was as if this train, this journey, was weaving them all together into a shared tapestry of peace. The sensation was one of deep, abiding love and belonging. As they emerged from the agate tunnel, the sight that greeted them was breathtaking. They were now in an immense open cavern, its ceiling so high it was lost in a swirling nebula of soft light. But it was not dark. Above them, suspended as if by magic, floated countless islands of glowing crystal, each one slowly rotating, casting gentle, kaleidoscopic patterns on the cavern floor. On these crystal islands, trees of pure light shimmered, their leaves vibrating with silent energy. The light was so brilliant yet so gentle, it felt like a warm embrace. And then Robin saw it. In the very center of the cavern, bathed in the most brilliant yet gentle light, stood an impossibly large ancient clock. But this was no ordinary clock. Its gears turned with a slow, deliberate grace, made of intricate, interwoven patterns of starlight. Its hands, crafted from spun moonbeams, moved with an almost imperceptible slowness, and instead of numbers, there were symbols that glowed with a soft, ethereal energy, symbols that felt ancient, profound, and utterly serene, representing concepts far beyond simple time. The great Dreamweaver clock, the soft voice of their guide, who had quietly rejoined them, announced, "It measures the passage of dreams, not time. Each tick is a whisper of slumber, each gentle chime a promise of renewal." Friar Tuck gasped, a sound of pure wonder. Oh, glorious! To measure dreams! What a concept! His eyes, usually twinkling with merriment, were now wide with a kind of profound reverence. Little John, for once, was completely silent, his gaze fixed on the magnificent clock. A faint, almost imperceptible smile played on his lips. The sight was so grand, so overwhelming, that it seemed to render him speechless, a state of mind he was not at all familiar with. The train glided towards the clock, its movements becoming even more hushed, as if reverent of the sacred space. It came to a stop directly before the immense timepiece, its engine emitting a gentle, final sigh, the sound of a long journey's end. "This," the guide gestured with a graceful sweep of its hand, "is the final stop on your journey aboard the Dreamweaver Express. From here, you are invited to rest, to allow the gentle rhythm of the clock to guide you into the deepest, most peaceful slumber." Robin looked at his friends. Marian's eyes were heavy-lidded but filled with a profound contentment. Little John was leaning back, his head against the plush seat, a look of utter peace on his face, the moth still resting on his cap. Friar Tuck, though still observing the clock with wide-eyed wonder, seemed to be slowly succumbing to a gentle drowsiness. "Thank you," Robin said to the guide, his voice soft with gratitude. "For this journey, for this peace." The guide bowed, its luminous eyes sparkling. "The journey of peace is always within you, traveller. This train merely showed you the way." The creature's form seemed to shimmer and fade slightly, as if its purpose was now fulfilled. As the guide silently exited the carriage, the light within the cavern began to subtly shift. The crystal islands above them glowed with a softer, warmer light, and the great Dreamweaver clock emitted a faint, resonating hum, a sound that permeated the very air, settling deep within their bones, vibrating with a profound sense of comfort. Robin felt the pull of sleep, a gentle, irresistible current. He leaned his head back, feeling Marian's weight against his shoulder, a comforting presence, a feeling of safety that was absolute. The rhythmic hum of the clock became the only sound, a profound and continuous lullaby. He thought of the shimmering meadow, the whispering blossoms, the gentle touch of the echo stones, the warm scent of his mother's bread, the sound of a good jest, all the quiet comforts, all the gentle joys, all the forgotten moments of happiness that had been returned to him. His eyes drifted closed. He could still feel the subtle sway of the train, though it was now perfectly still. It was as if the train had become a part of the cavern, a part of the clock, a part of the dream itself. He imagined the crystal islands slowly rotating above, casting their gentle light. He imagined the dream deer gliding across the indigo meadow, the whispering weavers tending to their moonlit trees. He imagined the scent of lavender and old books, the velvet of the cushions, the honeyed gleam of the wood, all of it a perfect, unchanging tableau of peace. A profound sense of security enveloped him. There was no need to be alert, no need to plan, no need to fight, only to rest, to drift, to surrender to the gentle embrace of the Dreamweaver clock. He felt his breathing slow, deepening, matching the rhythmic hum of the clock. He imagined the soft, warm light of the carriage, the comforting presence of his friends, their breaths soft and even in the quiet space. He imagined the subtle scent of lavender and old books, the velvet of the cushions, the honeyed gleam of the wood. All around him, a cocoon of peace, woven from starlight and silence. Robin drifted further, sinking into the softest, warmest depths of slumber. The great Dreamweaver clock hummed on, its gentle rhythm guiding him deeper, deeper into the realm of sweet, untroubled dreams. The journey had ended, but the true journey, the journey into the quiet peace of sleep, had only just begun. And as he drifted, he knew, with a comforting certainty, that he was safe, he was loved, and he was utterly, completely at peace. The gentle hum of the clock, the subtle sway of the dream train carried him softly into the quietest, most serene night. His dreams were not of adventure or battle, but of quiet, sun-drenched moments, of shared laughter, of the simple, profound joy of being. The dream train, a vessel of peace, had delivered him home to himself,